Today we are going to do something a little different. We are doing one recipe with you today. I know that you are used to us doing many recipes at once. Today is all creamy seafood stuffed shells all the time.
And the reason that we're doing one recipe today is this one is a bit of work. It is a really beautiful recipe. It is pretty, it tastes amazing, but it is a bit of work to put it together. And so if you wanted to make trays and trays and trays of this, spend a day and do it, but just plan the one recipe.
Yes, we discovered the hard way.
In the middle of a mega session.
Yes! We were making over 100 meals at one time. We tend to do that from time to time. Well, once every 3 months.
Pretty regularly.
For years and years. And on the second, as in the last day of assembling all of these meals, we started making this one. We'd never made it before. We didn't really realize what an undertaking it was going to be, and oh my.
Oh my. So we have learned a few things since that time, like throw it into a bag, cut the tip off, and pipe that sucker in.
Yes.
That's one of the things that we're going to do today, because spooning it in, it's a bit cumbersome and messy. We
bought cooked shrimp instead of having to thaw and cook the shrimp and then cool it before getting it into the things. So we've done some things that are gonna cut that time considerably, and we're gonna share it with you. We are gonna be making two versions of this, not exactly versions, but we're going to be making a family size for Christy's family, and we're gonna be making a bunch of individual sized ones for my family, because my son Elijah loves this meal. Like loves, cannot get enough of this. I love it. Nobody else will touch it because they don't enjoy crab. Some of them like shrimp, some of them don't. So I discovered that making this for my whole family was a total waste, but making little ones for Elijah and I to share is gonna be exactly the way to go.
And it goes to show you whether you are a family of 4, 5, or 6, or if you are a small household of 1 or 2 people, it is really an easy recipe to make it for either situation.
Now, we last made this, or the only time we've made this, was in that mega session, and it was so good and so different that we've kind of talked about it ever since.
Right, we have. We've always said if we are going to do it again, it's going to be a standalone video because it is that good, but it's also that much work. And you know, don't get me wrong, the flavor is worth the work in my opinion too.
This is one of those restaurant-worthy, company-worthy dishes. If you've got the queen, well, I guess it's the king now, the King of England coming to your house. It just doesn't have the same ring.
No, it won't work because they don't eat seafood.
Oh, this I didn't know.
Oh, the royal family does not eat seafood, especially if they are out and about. There's a whole thing behind it, and you could research it if you want, but we wouldn't be serving it to the King of England. But if we had a party, it would also work for appetizers because they're just so cute.
So cute, but really gourmet deliciousness happening. So we're gonna get to the recipe, but because this is a multiple stepped recipe, I just want to tell you up front, do not let that scare you away from freezer cooking. Don't let this be the first recipe you ever make, freezer cooking. We have a ton of videos. Go check out our channel. They are like throw things in the bag, zip the bag up. You made your full dinner in 3 minutes. Go watch those videos. And then when you've built up your confidence and you've already discovered how easy and fast and inexpensive freezer meals can be, then come and make this expensive, difficult, time-consuming one.
That's right, and then you can wow all your friends. Although we do have a lot of wow-worthy recipes that are very easy to prepare. So check out our channel, there is lots out there. And heck, join the Freezer Meals 101 Club. This recipe is in the club. And for those of you who are in the know, go and have a look at this recipe and let us know how it goes for you.
We're gonna start by cooking our shells. When you're freezer cooking, you always want to undercook your pasta a little bit. So we're gonna go a minute or 2 under what the package directions tell us. And then once they are cooked, slightly undercooked, we're gonna drain those and rinse them in cold water to get them ready for filling. While those pasta shells are cooking, we're going to start on our sauce.
We are going to do some actual cooking in this. This isn't a throw it together in a bag. We are going to start by melting some butter in a skillet, and we're going to add our flour in and make a little bit of a roux. We're going to add in heavy cream and some white wine and keep stirring. We'll add in our garlic, some shredded Parmesan, Italian seasoning, and salt and pepper. Make sure you taste this sauce, and then you can add extra spices if you need. You want to stir it until it's smooth and set it aside.
Next, we're going to chop up some cooked shrimp, and we're going to chop up some imitation crab meat, and then we're going to mix those together with some softened cream cheese, chopped spinach, grated mozzarella cheese, some more Parmesan, and salt and pepper. We're gonna put a little bit of pasta sauce into the bottom of our baking dishes. And then,
after we have put the pasta sauce in the bottom of our trays, whatever is left, we are going to actually add to our seafood filling. Mix it all together, and that gives it a really great texture for piping. We're gonna put it into a freezer bag, or if you have a separate piping bag, that's fine. Cut off the tip, and then you can nicely pipe this into the shells. If you don't want to do that, you can use a spoon. It will take maybe a little bit longer, and it is a bit messier, but that's okay. Use what you have, and that is totally fine, because freezer meals are better done than perfect. We're going to add these shells in on top of that pasta sauce as we fill them, and then we're going to sprinkle some mozzarella cheese on top of that, and then on with the foil.
now for our large one, we've used some foil to top it with. For our small individual trays, they come with a foil lid, so we've just replaced the lid. Those are in your freezer now, and then on the day you go to cook this, you thaw it, and you just bake them for 20 minutes in the oven. Then you want to take the top or the foil off and bake that for another 5 to 7 minutes until that cheese is light brown and a little bit melty. You do want to cool these a little bit before you bite into them, because they're pretty molten and they are just delicious.
And they're great as leftovers too. Like if you've made them the first day and magically there are a few left, day 2, warmed up in the microwave, they are just kind of perfect. They're perfect.
I can attest to them being good as leftovers as well, because of course when we did them way back when, and they were in the large trays, and I have a supersized family, so normally we would just smash something like that in one sitting. But since, you know, Elijah and I were the only ones that wanted to eat it, we had a lot left over, and he and I were happy for days.
That's right. So be sure to give these a try. Tell us how it goes for you. And yes, check those out in the club.
So if you're looking for easier freezer meals than this, we're gonna pop a video right there so that you can make this labor-intensive one and then get your freezer filled with super easy ones. Thank you so much for joining us today on our seafood shell extravaganza.
Extravaganza. Happy cooking.